Okay, let's continue with our homework problem 10, right? So, again, pause the video, read the problem carefully. Alright, and I will continue with the solution. So, in the school hall, there was an equal number of boys and girls, right? So, there were some boys and girls in an equal amount, right? So, instantly you can draw your unit bars, right? This is not a solution yet. It's just to kind of give you an idea, right? That you have equal number of boys and girls. After some pupils left the hall, only 3/5 of the boys and 5/6 of the girls remained in the hall, right? So 3/5 of the boys, 3/5 of the boys, right? Okay, all right, let's write it down. Boys, right? And 5/6, 5/6 girls, right? So if we want to, we're talking about kids, we're talking about pupils, right? So if we want to understand what's going on, we need to bring them to common denominator, right? You can see that denominator is different. The common denominator is 30, so 18/30 and 25/30, right? So you can see the boys now, right? We see that they're equal amounts. This is what we did. By bringing them to common denominator, right? We are showing that initially there was same amount of boys and girls, right? So initially there were 30 units in each group. Let's write it down. There were 30 units in each group. Okay, so from here, right, you can see 18 units of boys and 25 units of girls. 18 units of boys and 25 units of girls. Okay, remained in the hall. Remained in the hall. Okay, so we can calculate our total remain. Total remain is 18 units plus 25 units is equal to 43 units. 43 units of students remain. Okay, now we're coming back to our model drawing, and how do we represent it, right? Obviously, I'm not going to draw 43 units. It's going to take a lifetime and going to be not very practical, right? So boys and girls. And we draw our two bars again. So those from before, right, they are the same. And instead of separating them, each, like to show each unit, right, we just show like this, that 18 units of boys. Right, this is the remainder. So 12 units, right? 12 units. Yeah, 12 units left, right? Same thing here. Total 30 units, 25 units, 25 units remained. 5 units left, right? Now we can see what are the units that left, right? 12 units of boys over here left and 5 units of girls over here left, right? So what is the difference, right? 12 units, the difference. So difference is 12 units minus 5 units is 7 units. 7 units, right? Okay, and this is what they tell us. If there were 21 more boys than girls left the hall, this is the difference. 7 units is 21, right? This is the difference. 21 boys more left than girls, right? So what is our 1 unit, right? 21 divided by 3, oh, divided by 7 is 3, right? 3. Okay, so what is our total? 43 units total remain, right? We just calculated it. 43 units total remain. We want to know that 43 times 3 is equal 129. That's your answer. 129 pupils remained in the hall. Alright, next problem, problem 11. Pause the video, read the problem. Okay, I assume you finished reading and processing, so I will carry on with solution, right? So, Noah and Tanya had a total of 156, right? Right now, what do we need to do? They tell us that Noah gave away 2/3 of his cards and Tanya gave away 1/4 of her cards, right? So first of all, we can calculate what is left, right? So Noah was left with, so 1 was a whole, and he lost 2/3 of his cards, right? 2/3. So 1/3 of his cards left, right? Now, same thing for Tanya. Same thing we do for Tanya. Tanya was left with 1 was a whole minus. She lost, right? She gave away 1/4 of her cards, and she left with 3/4 of her cards. Right? Now they tell us after they gave away, they had an equal number of cards left. Right? So basically, 1/3 of Noah's is same thing as 3/4 of Tanya's. Right? So we need to think of units, right? So 1 unit is equal to these 3 units, right? But let's change this fraction. Let's change this fraction so that the numerator is the same. So 1/3 is same thing, 1/3 is same thing as 3/9, right? You can see these things are the same, right? We're just changed fraction a little bit. 3/9 of Noah's, and we keep this fraction the same, 3/4 of Tanya's, right? Why did we do that? Again, because these 3 units and 3 units, they're same units, okay? But the denominator is different. Denominator is different now, right? And denominator is showing us how many units of cards they had at first, right? So basically, here Noah had 9 units of cards. 9 units of cards. And at first. And Tanya, she had this. She had 4 units of cards. Had 4 units of cards at first. Right? We know how many units of cards they had at first, right? So these 9 and these 4, 9 and 4 together give us 13 units. Together they had 13 units of cards at first, okay? And they give us the number. Total of 156 game cards they had, right? So these are our units. 13 total units at first is equal to 156 cards. Yeah. So how much is 1 unit? 156 divided by 13 is equal to 12. This is our 1 unit, right? But we need this, and basically, so we need these 3 units. We need these 3 units, right? We need these 3 units. 3 units. 3 units is 12 times 3, which is 36, right? Each of them had 36 game cards left, right? Again, there's 3 units left, 3 units left. Yeah, there's 3 units left. We transform this fraction, right? These 3 units, 3 units. Every unit is 12 cards. This is how we get our answer. Okay? Each of them had 36 game cards left. Okay, next problem, problem 12. Alright, pause the video, take your time, read the problem. And we will carry on with the solution. Right, Siet, how do you pronounce that name? Siet had some red, green, and yellow art papers, right? Half of the red papers is equal to 5/6 of the green papers. The number of yellow papers is 3/4 of the total number of red and green papers. So, okay, what you need to do is you need to write every sentence, every relationship of what's going on between these items, right, in a mathematical form. So sentence number 2, half of the red papers, right? And be concise, write it down short, in a short form. So 1/2 of red is equal to what? It's equal to 5/6 of green. Right? This is how you write it. The next expression, the next sentence, the number, well, let's finish with this, right, first. You can see, obviously, that, again, our numerators is different, but they tell us that it is the same thing, right? So we are trying to bring everything to the same units, right? So if we have 5 here, we need to make 5 here, right? So this is what we do. Instead of 1, we make it 5. And then we need to change the denominator. 5/10, right? 5/10 is the same thing like this fraction and this fraction. They're the same, totally same. Of red is equal to 5/6 of green. Right? Now our numerators are same, 5 and 5, right? So our denominators now are 10 and 6, right? So this is what we write, right? What are the units? How many units? There are 10 units. There are 10 units of what? Of red, right? 10 units of red papers and 6 units of green papers, right? This is what we write. Okay, so the total of, if we calculate red and green together, yeah, red, oh boy, this is ugly, red plus green, right, together is 10 plus 6, so it is 16 units. 16 units. Right? Now, our next relationship is what they tell us, yellow papers. Yellow papers is 3/4 of these 16 units, right? So this is simple. We just write our yellow is 3/4 of 16 units. 16 units. You do the math, it's going to be 12 units, right? 12 units. So total units. What are the red and green and yellow all together, right? It is our 16 units and our 12 units, right? So 16 plus 12 is 28 units. Okay? And we can write it down. And we need to know the difference, right? The last sentence, the difference. There are 48 more yellow papers than green papers. How do we represent it in a mathematical way, right? This is the difference. We need to difference between the number of yellow yellow papers and green papers. What is the difference between yellow, right? Oops, sorry, yellow, right, and green? We just learned 6 units of green. Yeah, that's it. 12 minus 6, 6 units. That's the difference. That's the difference. Or we can write here 12 minus 6, 6 units. That's the difference. Okay? So this difference, they tell us, 6 units is 48, right? 48 peppers. So if 6 is 48, then what is the total? 21 units. Yeah, 21 units is 48 divided by 6. You're gonna get 1 unit, right? And you multiply it times 28, and you get 224. This is your answer, 224. So you write your answer. Syed has 224 art papers. That's it. Okay, problem 13. There were 28 more mangoes than peaches on a tray. After 3/5 of the mangoes and 1/4 of the peaches were eaten, there was an equal number of mangoes and peaches on the tray. How many fruits were left? All right. Again, if you need, pause the video, read it again, process. Okay, and we will carry on with the solution, right? So try to imagine things. It's gonna definitely help you. Try to imagine this tray, imagine the fruits, right? There are peaches, there are mangoes, and then you eat some, and then what is left? So let's start with that, right? When you draw your model, so you have your peaches and you have your mangoes, right? So what is left is equal, right? Equal, same bars, right? And you can, of course, write it down. This is left, this is left, okay? Now what is left? Think about it. After 3/5 of mangoes, right? Let's think about mangoes. 3/5 were eaten, 2/5 were left. 2/5 were left, 3/5 were eaten. Okay, these three units, right? They were eaten. Okay. Now what happened with the peaches? With the peaches, 1/4 of the peaches were eaten, so 3/4 are left. This should be 3 units. This should be 1 unit that is eaten. Right? This unit is eaten. Eaten. Alright? That's it. You draw your model, everything becomes very, very clear, right? Somehow you have your 3 units here and you have your 2 units here, but they're the same. So in order to make them like measurable, right? Comparable, you need to bring them to common denominator, right? Or basically you break them. Here you break each unit into 2, here you break each unit into 3, and you can clearly see, right, that there will be 6 small units. There will be 6 small units here, there will be 6 small units here. Alright? You got it. So you can see that each unit was broken into 2. So this thing will be also 2. Well, I should draw it like this, right? And this unit is broken into 3, so each of your eaten will be also broken into 3, right? Broken into 3. All right. How do we represent it as a fraction, right? This is our model. Let's think about fractions. Mangoes, right? And then peaches. Peaches. They're eaten and they're left. Right? They tell us 3/5 of mangoes were eaten. right? 1/4 of the peaches were eaten. So this is your leftover, 2/5, 3/4. Okay? So what do they tell us? There was an equal number of mangoes and peaches on the tray. This thing is this thing, right? And as a fraction, as a sentence, we can write it down. 2/5, and as a fraction, right? 2/5 of mangoes. 2/5 of mangoes is the same thing as 3/4 of peaches. Right? This thing is the same thing as this thing. Right? This is what we did. Right? So in our model here, right? In our model here, we broke each unit into smaller units to make them measurable. We made them 6 units. 6 smaller units here and 6 smaller units here, right? So the same thing happens with the fraction, right? But we working with our numerators, right? 6, instead of 2 we write 6. So instead of 5 it becomes 15, right? This is the same, those are the same thing. 2/5 is the same thing as 6/15, right? Of mangoes. Now we need to change this fraction, right? To 6. 3/4 is the same thing as 6/8 of peaches, right? Now we're working with the same numerator. 6 units, 6 units there, 6 units there. And after that we can clearly see what was before, right? And let's write it down. There were 15 units at first, right? 15 units of mangoes. And how much? 8 units. 8 units of peaches. On the tray at first. That's it, right? We have our 15, we have our 8, right? 15 and 8 units before. So what is the difference, right? The difference is 15 minus 8 equal 7. 7 units of difference, right? 7 units of difference. Right, 7 units of difference. And they tell us, right, as the first sentence, there were 28 more mangoes than peaches on the tray. This is our 7 units of difference. So this is what we write. Oh, sorry about that. 7 units is 28. 28 fruits. Yeah? 7 units is 28 fruits. Okay. How much is left? We know how much is left. Right? I'm gonna erase this thing. This is how much left. 6 units of mangoes, 6 units of peaches, right? So 6 units of mangoes, 6 units of mangoes, and 6 units of peaches left. Of peaches. Well, I need to write it here, right? Of peaches were left on the tray. Were left on a tray, right? 12 units of fruits were left on the tray. 6 units of mangoes, 6 units of mangoes, 6 units of peaches. So total 12 units of fruits. 12 units of fruits. Okay? So 7 units is 28. How much is 12 units? 12 units is 28 divided by 7. It's going to be 1 unit times 12. 12 units. And it's going to be 48. That's your answer. 48 fruits were left. 48 fruits were left. All right, last problem in this section. Right. Pause the video, read the problem, and after you finish, you can listen to solution. So the solution of this problem, right? 2/5 of Sophia's postcards were equal to 7/9 of Jonah's postcards, and this is what you write, right? 2/5 of Sophia's postcards, right? Let's write it like this. Right, I'm gonna write 5 again, not to confuse you. Okay, is the same thing as 7/9 of Jonas postcards, right? Postcards. Okay, 2/5, 7/9. Different numerators, different numerator here, different numerator here, but they tell us that it's equal, right? Let's bring them to one numerator, right? How do we do that? It's gonna be 14, right? So instead of 2, we write 14, and we change our denominator. 2/5 is the same thing as 14/35, right? We multiplied by 7 of Sophia's postcards is same thing as 7. We multiply both numerator and denominator by 2, right? So it is 14 divided by 9 times 2, 18, right? 18 of Jonah's postcards, right? This is our expression, right? And we can clearly see now from our denominators how many units of postcards both of them had. All right, let's write it down. Sophia had 35 units of postcards, and Jonas had how many? 18 units of postcards at first. Yeah, at first. Okay, right? What is the next thing? They tell us after Sophia gave 2/7 of her postcards to Jonas, right? Sophia had 35 units, right? I should even show it like this, right? Sophia had 35 units. Okay. So what is 2/7 of 35 units? 2/7 of 35 units is 10 units. This is what she gave to Jonas, right? So what happened? Let's see the transfer, right? So, and we can write down. Let's write down so you don't miss it. After the transfer between two children, right? What happened? Sophia lost 10 units. She had 35 units. She lost 10 units, right? She gave to Jonas, and she got, as a result, 25 units. Okay, Jonas had 18 units. We know that, right? Okay, 18 units, and he got 10 units. He had 18, he got 10 from Sophia, and as a result, he got 28 units, right? This is what happened. All right? So 5, now read the last thing, right? Sophia had 5/11 of the total number of the postcards in the end, right? So 5/11 of the total number of postcards is 25 units, right? And then 6/11 of the total number of postcards is what? 6/11. We calculate. If 5/11 is 25, then we need to divide 25. Well, let's I don't want to cram it here, so let's put it here. 25 divided by 5, right? And times 6. And it's gonna be 30 units. 30 units, right? So Jonas postcards increased by 2. Jonas postcards increased by 2. By 30 units minus 28 units, 2 units. 2 units, right? 2 units is 6, right? 2 units is 6. This is what they tell us. Jonas received 6 postcards, right? From his brother. This is from his brother, okay? So 30 units is 6 times 15. And it's gonna be 90. That's your answer, right? Jonas had 90 postcards in the end. Okay, so again, always because I write the solution here, we don't see the actual problem, right? But you should have either your book opened or copy the picture, and you should have your problems, so you always see, understand what's going on as we walk through the solution, right? If you need, replay everything again. And now I'm gonna show you the answers with nice models drawn, so you have a better idea how to draw it. Okay, so here are the answers. Check everything, pause the video, and again walk through all the problems. Pay attention on how the answers are written, pay attention how the models are drawn. Alright, see you guys later.